Hello friend, this is Ryan Hicks of TalkToProfit.com. Today I want to talk to you about how to know your vibration and how to raise it. Many people will get confused about this and say, well, I don't know if I'm vibrating high or low, or if I'm positive or negative. But you do. God has given you an instrument, a system in your physical body to know this, to read this, to understand your vibrational state. It's very simply, how do you feel? Now, I need to explain this because people, their feelings can be arbitrary, meaning they can be moved by things that aren't actually what they think. So someone can have an impression that something negative is occurring and have a bad feeling about it, only to later realize that they misread the situation and it was completely innocent, or maybe it was even good. So they would have a sinking feeling, a feeling of despair or negativity or something of that nature, telling them something's wrong, but the body is getting that information from the conscious mind making an inaccurate judgment about something. And that does affect your vibrational state. That's why you feel that way. It doesn't mean that your vibrational state is accurate or an accurate representation of what's going on. Just because you feel bad about something or feel negative about it does not mean that the situation itself is actually bad or negative. That's not what those feelings are for. It's not what they are to show you and inform you about. But they are a tool that God's given you. That's the reason why we have feelings. That's the reason we've been given emotions. These are things that God has given us to be able to maneuver in our world, to understand what's going on, and to most accurately line up with His will. So how do you tell what your vibration is? Now, for everybody, this is different. Even though there are billions of people on the planet, there are even more vibrational states, frequencies that people could be operating in. So yours is very unique to you. That's why you map out to where you are on this planet, to the physical body that you're in. You have a brain and you have a physical body and you have these emotions and all this stuff, but you are actually consciousness maneuvering within that physical realm. And your frequency aligns you to that. We're talking about the base frequency that is you, that vibrational state. Now this fluctuates. So you may have variables within that frequency, but in the end it's still you, and no one else matches that. No one else is identical. Even an identical twin physically is not the same vibrational frequency of their twin. They're unique individuals, separated in the physical world at least, in unique bodies, different from one another, having different feelings, having different readings on the world, different impressions of what's going on around them, even though physically they may look the same. Now, why is it important that you understand where you're operating at right now? It is because from your heart flow the issues of life. So if you are in a low vibrational state, you are going to attract low vibrational issues into your life. More things that align with that vibration, that frequency. You know, when you raise up to a certain level, you can't have that stuff. Just like illness can't be in a body operating at the highest vibrational state. Illness is always found in lower vibrational states, always. But it's not found in the higher vibrational states. And this is one of those things that's very important, because you will, as you go through life, attract more and more negative things if you are operating on a low vibrational state. And I've had people tell me, well, but I'm higher vibration than everybody I know. I'm a positive person, I'm an upbeat person. And meanwhile, they are very negative. Just because you measure yourself against other more negative people does not mean you're positive. You have to understand this. The standard is Philippians 4:8, which is you focus on those things that are of good report, that are lovely, that are just, that are pure, praiseworthy. Focus on those things. That brings about the positive, high vibrational state. But you know in your heart whether or not you've been focusing on those things. If you've been anxious, if you've been worried, if you've been in doubt and unbelief, Those are low vibrational states. Those are brought about by a low vibrational state, and they will keep you in a low vibrational state, and they will keep you getting things that keep you in that low vibrational state. It's an infinite cycle, and you can choose to break out of it, but if you just keep doing what you're doing, you'll stay in that. Now, the good news is that also works for a high vibrational state. If you keep doing the things that you did to get you in the high vibrational state in the first place, you will keep in that high vibrational state. You will keep attracting good things, God's goodness and blessings and abundance into your life, and you'll shake off those things that would bring anxiety or fear or worry or doubt, because they just can't enter into your vibrational state. You're at a different level. And I always describe it this way, just as a way of understanding it, as a way of being able to visualize it. Imagine there's infinite lanes of highway, infinite roads, all parallel, going the same direction, but they're all slightly different spaces. Think of each of those different spaces as a different frequency. On one road, there may be all kinds of obstacles and adversities and hurdles and problems and trials and tribulations. Meanwhile, on this higher vibrational state, this other frequency, there's blessing, there's wealth, there's health, there's happiness, there's joy, there's peace, there's righteousness in the Holy Ghost. The thing is, you choose which path to be on. Are you going to be on that narrow path where there is goodness, where there is blessing? Or are you going to be on this broad, wide path where you're just allowing the world to do whatever it does? You're allowing circumstances to rule you and control you and be your God? Or do you recognize your Father in heaven, who so loved the world, who gives you freely all things to enjoy, who gives you richly, liberally, abundantly, more than you can ask or think? Because when you think about that and you approach life that way, of God's goodness, His blessing, His infinite mercy towards you, infinite grace constantly flowing into your life, the only goodness lies before you. When you think that way and you focus on that, when you're following Philippians 4:8 and you're in a high vibrational state and you think about the goodness of God and the good things of God, you are going to be on that narrow path that leads to righteousness. And along that path is all the goodness and blessings of God in this life, not just in eternity. I know it's where everybody puts it. Well, in eternity you'll have this, and then there'll be streets of gold, and then there'll be healing. And they put everything off to the future, and yet Jesus said, in this life you'll have 100-fold. In this life, my friend, God's blessings are for you. And you can raise your vibrational state if you just simply think about the goodness of God. Focus on those good things. Keep yourself and your mind ever present about the goodness of God. Always focused on that. Always thinking that. Reinforcing that mentality, that vibration. If something comes into your world and you start thinking, well, I don't know, immediately cast that thought out. Bring it into captivity and focus on the good. Focus on things of good report. Focus on things that are lovely. My friend, you do that enough, you rewire your brain, which is the tool that your mind uses in this world, and you start to lessen those thoughts from ever coming up in the first place. You raise your vibration, and then, most importantly, you attract more good things to be mindful of, to be focused on, to be present for. And you cast to the wayside any negativity, any things that would not be of good report, would not be lovely, would not be pure, would not be virtuous, would not be praiseworthy. Those things go away because you are operating at the highest vibrational state. My friend, this is one of the reasons why I stress Philippians 4:8 so much. It is so important. It so radically changes your life if you'll follow it. I wrote a little booklet called the 7-Day Positivity Diet based around Philippians 4:8, because if you focus on that, you're guarding your heart, you're defending it, you're keeping it from the negativity and the pollution of the world, and from that heart flow the issues of life. From your pure heart flow pure things. From your heart of good report flow things of good report. From your heart that's lovely, focused on loveliness, praiseworthy things, virtuous things, you get lovely things, praiseworthy things, virtuous things. My friend, that's what you want to attract. That's where you want to vibrate. That's how you want to be focused, ever thinking about the goodness and blessings of God in your life. And knowing that by doing so, you will only receive more of those good, abundant blessings of God. My friend, I pray this is a blessing for you. May God bless you richly.